Right, so I've mentioned a lot of cars already. What about bikes? Have you got anything interesting come up recently, do you reckon?
Well, I have been looking.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's getting to that time of year, isn't it? So
yeah, it's about the right time people start thinking about cracking out the old two wheels.
Yeah, exactly. And me personally, I would like to get on a sports bike. So I've been looking at things like CBRs, Gixxers,
proper old school.
Oh yeah, like late 90s.
Yeah, it was when you reach our ripe old ages.
Yeah, nostalgia kicks in.
Yeah, because we're obviously all about the mid late 90s stuff. That was our era.
Yeah, so like CBR 900 with the old, the Urban Tiger.
Yeah, or the old blades.
Fairing, CBR 900 blade, proper blade. You're looking at even now 1,500, $2,000. I mean, you pay more, like 3-4 for a nice one, but they're not fetching big money. It's mad.
That actually surprises me, because you'd think that those early mid-90s bike, really, that would see that to me that style of bike. It was an unforgettable.
It was pioneering, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the shapes of the bikes themselves, that they weren't pointy. They were stylized.
Yeah,
almost. They were part of you.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're sitting on a missile.
Yeah,
that's essentially what. That is exactly essentially what you do. You're sitting on a missile.
Yeah.
But back then you helped form part of the shape of the bike.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not being funny, but it's a late 90s 900 blade. It's no slouch.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Or even the GSXRs and.
The old S-Rads. Oh,
the S-Rad.
Yeah, the old S-Rads. Gixxer S-Rads.
Even the one before. What was the one before that? It wasn't slab side, was it?
Yeah, I think it was. It was a slab
side.
Was it
slab? Which you'll know. What was before the S-Rad Gixxer? Was it slab side?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're flat fairing.
Yeah. But even them.
Wide flat fairing.
Even them. Like, I mean, I think the older ones are sort of that, like the late 80s sort of era. They're a bit pricier. Because they're practically collector's items now, aren't they? But like, they are, aren't they? But
really blue and white. No one wants the red and white ones.
Yeah, more cars that we'd like our viewers to get involved if they have anything they want to shot the old an old Fireblade, old 90s Fireblade, or an old S-Rad or something like that. That would be amazing.
100%.
Or I would absolutely beg somebody's got Hayabusa or a 996 Ducati 996. I adore them.
I mean, it's Italian bikes and that they're always going to hold their money.
Yeah.
Just I think because of what you need to have to be able to, ideally you want a heated garage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To own a Duke or anything Italian, really.
You need to own a Ducati garage. But in fact, Rich knows all about needing a garage to own a Ducati.
But I'm quite surprised at actually how cheap they are. I mean, me and Rich were looking through the auction websites, and there's a fizzy FS1E 50cc, $5,000 they want for it. $5,000. Who are you that's paying $5,000 for one of them? Like that. Come on now. Like the RD 350s and stuff.
Yeah. Iconic.
You like an RD,
bikes,
didn't you?
I've had a 125.
And they are wicked looking bikes as well. They're such a throughout the range. They're such a very, because you had the R as well, which was like, it went from almost like a commuter bike to a sports bike within the same the same model almost.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're you're looking at $4 or $5,000 for a decent one of them.
But they'll be a bit like the old like the TZRs. You remember the TZR 125s were quite sort of long and very slender but full fairing bike.
Yeah.
Then you move on to the TZR 250, which is like full fat race bike. Yeah. Streamlined fairing, big old race can, fat tyres.
Yeah. Good luck finding one of them now as well.
Yeah,
like
the 250 RR. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like the RDs and stuff. There's a few of them knocking about. But yeah, the TZRs, I don't think I've seen one of them for a long time.
No, I haven't. No, definitely not.
That would be one of the things I reckon would be an up and comer. If you can get a TZR, keep hold of it.
Yeah. Well, which one do you reckon though? The 125 or the 250?
Either.
I think the 250s are much harder to get though.
They are, but the 125R are like hen's teeth.
Yeah.
Like a proper, you can get the TZR 125, which has got the fairing and all that, but the TZ 125R.
Yeah.
R.
Oh, YPVS.
Yeah.
YPVS.
Power valve system.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting a 125R, I reckon you'd be sitting on a fucking golden goose egg there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon.
What about anything? What about anything a bit older? The you know what I mean by a bit older when it comes to bikes. You know, like the old GTs.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the old Suzuki GT, the really old style.
There was, we've seen a couple of them.
Single headlight.
Yeah.
GT, air cooled. Big old chrome exhaust pipes.
GT 550? Was it the 250? No, they're fetching four upwards, $4,000 upwards.
That's pretty.
Like if you're sitting on something like, oh, have a look. Oh, Richard's bringing his toys out. Look.
Oh, well, we've got to show you this
bike. That is.
Look at that beast.
Oh.
VFR 750.
That's the NC30, isn't it?
Now that is a bike.
I dread to think what they'd be paying for one of them at the moment, if you can find one.
Look at that.
50k.
Beautiful.
40.
Between 20 and 50.
Jesus.
Depending on the mileage. I know somebody.
You're winding me up.
I know somebody who's got 3 miles on it.
Between 20 and 50 grand for an NC30.
It's a beautiful thing though. It really is.
No, it really is.
Bike.
I like the single-sided swing arm as well. I don't know what it is about that.
You know, I'm definitely a car person, but I can be bought over.
You can be swayed, can't you? Yeah, you can.
With bike, because obviously I started off in my later teenage years. I rode a 125 before I got my driving license. So I did spend a lot of time. We went to Ali Pally together when we were young as well, didn't we?
Oh, for the old Superbike show,
yeah, brilliant that was.
That is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Even in miniature form, like it's just stunning. I do like that. But yeah, the old Suzuki GTs, they're fetching good money. Like any Super Dream, sorry, the old CB 250s and that.
Well, we used to know a guy whose parents were absolutely
bought them for like 200 quid back in the day, and now you're looking at a couple of grand for one.
Super Dreams, didn't they?
Yeah, couple of grand for a Super Dream. Mad, isn't it? I think generally, it's quite surprising, really, because the bike market seems to be, if you're going for something classic, you're going to pay like almost new money for an old bike.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, you can pick up like. So I think what I've been looking at. I've been looking at so many bloody bikes. It's just like I've just gone and thrown I've got to phone a blank now. But I was looking at, because I want something a bit. I do want a sports bike, right? But I think I want something I can get the missus out on the back of as well. So I've been looking at things like the Triumph Tiger and the Transalp and things like that. But the Honda, Africa Twin, they're going for silly money.
Yeah.
You're looking at.
Was that like a big old BMW GS type?
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And
so it'll be even higher. The pillion will be even higher for your missus to get on.
I need a step ladder to get on it. No, probably not. In case you didn't know, I'm a fair bit shorter than.
If you've got to put stabilisers on your motorbike, then you probably need to think about your motorbike choice.
But the Africa Twins, they seem to be holding their money like really well. Yeah. We're looking at nearly 10 grand for one of them.
Wow, that's strong, isn't it?
Strong, very strong. But yeah, like the older bikes, like you said, the GT 550, the GT 250. Yeah, they were going for like 4 or 5 ID 350s, 4 or 5 as well. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I think that's maybe where cars and bikes seem to differ quite a bit then, because obviously that it's really all about the sort of 80s cars onwards, I would say now, because the I'd say 50s and 60s cars are kind of on their way out, as well as Aston Martins, it would seem.
Yeah,
Aston Martins are really dropping in value.
When you say dropping in value, are they like affordable to us yet or not?
Well, when you can when you can buy like a DB9, a really nice DB9 with a few miles on it for less than 20 grand.
Bloody hell! Yeah, it's quite a drop, isn't it? Oh, maybe.
Yeah, another 5 years.
Well, that's 5 grand. It's now lost.
Yeah, I mean, if every
you saw off camera there, Richard was doing some actions.
Well, I've got a weird question for you. It's a bit left field. A Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, an Evo 9, and it was an Evo 9 estate.
Oh, I like them.
Now, I remember when I was looking for a JDM estate, a fast JDM estate, when I bought the Legnum originally, and one of those popped up, but the money was just wild, and I think at the time it was like 20 grand at the time. But anyway, back to my question. Evo 9 estate, is it practical?
Yep. Without a doubt.
But is it really though?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's an estate, and what else do you need?
Well, the thing is,
how can it not be practical?
Well, I can see what you mean. Is in the given the fact that it has a big boot space.
Yeah.
But a car like that, I don't see that.
So is the Evo 9 practical?
Right.
Without doubt.
Yeah, see, they're big, and they've got a big boot. I suppose you could see that as practical, but the car it's attached to just doesn't make an awful lot of practical sense to me.
Why not?
Well, you know about like Evo servicing, like as they require a service. I think it's every 5,000 miles, and I think that's
Are they that highly strung?
Yeah.
I suppose it depends on the model, doesn't it? If it's like the FQ 380 or whatever it is, like the top, full fat.
No, I think
wide boy one. Then yeah, maybe it's not as.
I'm pretty sure the service intervals on all Evos are about sort of 3,000 to 6,000 mile intervals. So it's quite short intervals, and you've got to remember it's quite a highly strung engine. That 2-litre turbo, although it kicks out a fair bit of horsepower. You imagine all of that extra weight in the boot of your car, and your Evo decides that it's going to have turbo lag just as you go and try and overtake someone.
Yeah.
You put your foot in the floor and nothing happens, and nothing happens, and nothing happens, and then by the time...
Yeah, but then all of a sudden everything happens and you're away from it anyway.
Yeah, but my point is that by the time something's happened, it's too late. The gap's gone.
Yeah, but they are quick enough to... No, yeah, I don't know.
Is a car like that truly practical?
Yeah. Maybe not. But you could argue the toss with an M5 estate as well, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I mean? Because their service intervals on because the last M5 touring was the F10, isn't it? The V10 one.
I think so.
That's the last time they did an M5 touring.
I think they introduced the M5 touring in the E60 V10. The E60?
I thought it was an F10. I might be wrong. I am wrong, probably. E60. It's the one with the shark nose.
The E60 was when they swapped to the V10 engine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was the one after the E39.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the last time they did an M5 touring, wasn't it?
No, they're still doing the M5 tourings. I think after that they carried on doing M5 tourings. It was pre that they didn't.
I thought they. Oh, excuse me. I thought they did. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be.
Yeah, no, we probably both need to.
We should research this.
But I suppose you could ask the same question of all those big, powerful cars. Now that they're actually making estate or touring versions of, their super saloons. Would you call it practical? I mean, it's nice to have that. I mean, saying that. I mean, I've got bloody S4 Avant. So
yeah, is that practical?
yeah, I would say yeah and no. In all honesty,
Yeah,
I would say that yeah, it is practical, but it has its pitfalls, given it's so heavy. You know, and you're always carrying that extra weight.
Yeah, and the servicing intervals. I mean, the M5s, the servicing on them, is like, it doesn't matter which one you've got. It's going to be you're looking at a big bill to service one of those, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? And it'd be the same with the Evo. So I don't know. You can argue that the Evo is not practical, or is any less practical than, say, something else like that.
Yeah, anything
You know what I mean?
highly strung,
Yeah.
you know, with a fast engine in it.
Yeah,
That's designed to be like a super saloon type car.
yeah. They look so cool though, don't they?
Yeah,
I like the Evo 7 Estate. That is a cool looking. I like an Estate.
yeah. I mean, they're
I
interesting.
think they're pretty cool.
The squared arches at the back, I think, set it off quite nicely.
Yeah. And if you rally spec it,
Yeah,
you can take it off road, and you can't do that with an M5.
yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing with the Nissan Stegia, isn't it?
There,
You know, with the start with the it's a Skyline, but it's not a Skyline.
no,
But you can get a Skyline front end, like an R34
front end.
I've even seen a Stegia with the R35 GTR front end on it.
That's mental.
I mean, it's bizarre looking because
I bet.
it's got it's Skyline R35 GTR all over the front, but it's square at the back.
Yeah, I'm not like I like a fast Estate. I do. Volvo V70R, Volvo 850R. You know,
Yeah.
or the Legnum M5 Touring, your S4.
I put a deposit down on a V70R a few years ago, and I put $2,500 deposit down. I think the car was $6,000. I put $2,500 deposit down, and the garage phoned me up a couple of days later and said, "We're sorry, we can't sell you the car anymore because our mechanic dropped a spanner in the ECU and it needs completely rewiring."
Oh,
Odd.
yeah.
I mean, in the end, because of that. I mean,
I was like,
yeah,
cow, horse, bullshit.
yeah. Yeah. And I think what actually happened, he probably because he sold it on site and then sold it on site probably for screen price because I knocked him down a bit. Because that's what he probably did.
Really
He just
did.
putting me off. So to be fair, he gave me my money back without issue. So I mean, it didn't cost me anything. It cost me an annoyance, I think, more than anything. But yeah, I swerved clear of Volvos after that.
Yeah,
It was just that
fair.
one bad experience put me off.
But yeah, you know, I think you could argue that the practicality of any of them fast Estates, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I suppose. Well, I mean, I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I just said that fast cars in the state for all rubbish and stupid.
But you own one.
Yeah. I mean, shooting brakes are cool. That's just.
Yeah.
What about touchscreen technology in cars? How do you rate that?
I think it's too much of a distraction, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we're a bit old in the tooth,
Yeah.
though. We're used to having buttons to press, aren't we? Like having a TV screen in there, you just like.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is, if you're driving along in your car and you've got your touchscreen and you go along to press a button, and just as you lean over to press a button, you go over, the car just accidentally turned the volume up to maximum, when actually you were trying to bring up your sat nav or something.
Yeah.
There's just,
And then
you go to press it, and then you press something else, or you've swiped it, or because it works like a tablet, doesn't it? Most of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You could argue that we're dinosaurs, and we don't. You know, this is. It was bound to happen. They were bound to integrate all that bloody technology into vehicles at some point, weren't they?
Imagine you're driving along in your fancy whatever with your fancy touchscreen on your dashboard, and you're doing the school run. Say one of the kids in the back has a little tantrum, throws a lunchbox or something, right? Screen gone.
Yeah, no. To be fair, you wouldn't have that trouble with a Kenwood head unit.
Yeah, let's gloss over the fact that you've thrown the lunchbox back at the child across the car. What? When you go to fix it, when you go to the garage and say, "Well, that'll be £1,500 for a screen, please."
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I wanted was but you take a car like mine, with a button that does it, and that lunchbox, all it's done is broken the button.
Yeah.
Online replacement button, £2.
It's not like you're going to, and it's not like you're going to Halfords just to replace the
that's what I mean.
Just to replace the stereo, is it?
See, as whereas you would have before, you would take it, or you could even do it yourself. I mean, it's literally a couple of screws or pins. Pop it out, take the button out of the console bit, and then just replace the button. Whereas now it's practically a whole dash replacement.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. Like the old, the Tesla. That everything is done from that central console. It's just this one
LCD or plasma or whatever it is, tablet screen right across the top of the dash, and you're looking at thousands.
I mean, because to be fair, like cars now, like modern cars, have had touchscreens in them for quite a while now. I mean, like in the early days, they were integrated along with like your normal buttons as well. It didn't like do away with the entire dashboard, but now it's going that way now, isn't it? I should think. So I see what you mean. It's a lot. It seems to be to me like if you've got all your functions, heating, windscreen, like your stereo, sat nav, and that all integrated into one unit,
one control.
That one thing goes wrong, everything's
exactly
gone, isn't it?
Yeah,
no heating
for the sake of a button.
No aircon. Just because your stereo packed up. Yeah, that sucks. No, I'm not down with that.
We are anti-touchscreen technology in cars. Buy an old car.
100%.
There's just something satisfying and comforting about knowing you've pressed that button and it's clicked and it's done the one thing that that one was designed to do.
Supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And auto functions. Where headlights come on their own, or wipers come on their own.
I like that.
Yeah, you like that, do you?
I like that.
I'm not that bothered about it.
I'm quite lazy.
I mean, even things like parking sensors, I'm just not that bothered about. I never needed. I've only ever had them on one car, and they worked on that one car. And I've had them on like 4 other cars, and they didn't work on the rest of them.
Oh, isn't that what bumpers are for?
Yeah, plastic ones.
Yeah,
on cheap cars.
Yeah, you don't need parking sensors on a bike. You just look round.
And sunroofs as well. I've never really been that bothered about a sunroof.
I've had
about a sunroof.
I've had a couple of cars with sunroofs, and they're all right.
Yeah.
But if you've got aircon, then what's the point?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if it's summer, if it's really hot in the middle of summer, I just roll the windows down.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
It's like a half-assed convertible.
I don't sit in the driver's seat and think, I wish I was sitting in a freezer right now. I open the window.
Yeah.
So the passenger window.
Sunroof's like the poor man's convertible, isn't it? Or like a half-assed convertible.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, it gives you a bit of extra headroom.
Yeah, in some cars you need a sunroof.
I'll tell you one thing that really upsets me about new cars.
What grinds your gears?
What grinds my gears?
Go on.
The loss of manual gearboxes. What is going on?
Yeah, I think either people are getting stupid or lazy.
What? Why are all car manufacturers now selling new cars and putting either automatic like 15-speed automatic or flappy?
Why do you need that many gears?
I don't get it.
No.
I absolutely adore my 6-speed manual. I love it. I love it.
Manual.
It's brilliant. I wouldn't swap it.
No, I'm with you on that. I like a manual.
Yeah, a good manual 6-speed gearbox with the clutch pedal, and I that really.
You have like with a manual as well. You have a lot more control. I think over your movement. You're taking off and maybe not so much stopping, but definitely you're taking off. Because if you like most autos, there's a delay between hitting the pedal and it actually doing anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, as far as auto gear, but I've never actually driven, certainly not in the last 5 years, a brand new car with an automatic gearbox. So, but I have driven plenty of autos, and even Tiptronics. I mean, because you've had a Tiptronic as well.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't compare to a manual gearbox.
No.
It's just not the same experience.
No, it's not. It's that you feel. I think you feel sort of disconnected from the whole drive because the car's practically doing it itself. If you enjoy driving or
and you have to be aware of the car. You need to remember which gear you're in.
Yeah.
You need to know
That's why.
That keeps you connected.
I'm not being funny, but that must be why. Because have you seen the standard of driving nowadays?
Yes.
You don't want to overcomplicate things for people in there, do you? Do you know what I mean? It's bad. It's hard enough for them to drive.
Well, no, most people complain when their phone's only got 5% of battery,
Exactly.
let alone a bloody manual gearbox.
Yeah. To be fair, that doesn't surprise me. They're trying to make driving.
It's a real crying shame, I think, that manual gearboxes are being lost.
Yeah, but it's what technology, like, you know, as it progresses, it's used to make our lives easier, isn't it?
I don't know anybody that said, "Oh yeah, manual gearboxes, I hate them. I'd rather have an automatic all day long." I've never met anybody that says that.
I think the only person you would ever meet that says that doesn't actually really enjoy driving their car. On the other side of the argument, like, there's so much traffic, like over here, especially in this country, there's so much traffic on the road at the moment. Like, going through traffic with a manual, constantly off the clutch, on the clutch, off the clutch, on the clutch, up and down the gears, up and down.
I suppose I get that a little bit.
Like,
but if you think about how often are you stuck in traffic, if you know, for every half an hour journey that you do in your car or your bike or whatever, how often are you?
Bike's irrelevant.
More than 15 minutes.
There is no traffic on a motorbike.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll
we're allowed to filter in this country. It's legal.
I'll accept that totally.
But yeah, no, I mean, around where I live, traffic's awful. It's horrendous. I live in a little village, and because, you know, they put these houses up here, there, and everywhere, but the infrastructure hasn't changed. You know, they're all trying to filter down to into these. You know, all these cars are using the same routes that everyone's been using, but there's just more volume of them now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And yeah, people do sit in traffic quite a lot nowadays, believe it or not. If you live in the countryside, you don't really ever travel too far away, and you just want something like a B road burner, manual gearbox, all the time.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm a huge fan of autos. To be fair, I prefer a manual. Yeah, definitely.
So if you're listening, car manufacturers,
we want manuals.
We want manual gearboxes, please. And then we might be tempted to buy some of your new cars. So is it me, or have you noticed how bright headlights are now?
Yeah, the bloody LED
have you
ones.
Noticed that, Rich? Just how bright they are. They're like a million lumens torch being shined right in.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, the thing is, I drive along, like, even if it's getting slightly dimpsy and I've got the lights on, if everybody else is driving with their headlights on, and I have to, you know, sometimes I think, oh, they've obviously got them on main beam, so I flash them, and then they flash back. And obviously they've proving to me they haven't got their main beams on. Yeah. So they flash back with their main beams, and then I'm totally blind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's them new LED lights, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me as well, but I can't help but look at them.
Yeah, it's mesmerising. They draw your eye. The minute that you look at them, you're blind.
I'm blind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's weird, that, isn't it?
And then you have to quickly go, oh!
Yeah, but
then hover over the brake just in case something pops up.
But then what's the solution to that, though? You know what I mean? Are we moaning about all this stuff because we're getting on in years? I don't like the new stuff.
Go get our eyes tested.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, no, I do. Yeah. Rich.
I'm telling you, headlights are way too bright. Way too bright. Why do you need to see for 10 miles in front of your car?
Because the stand in the driveway is shit.
But I mean, isn't a couple of 100 yards enough?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? You would think so. But why do you need to? If anyone's got LED lights on their car, why? I mean, well, not why, but you don't really have a choice now. You buy a new car and it's already got them. But does it? Your bike's got them. Richard's bike's got LED lights as well. I can't get away from it.
I'm sitting in front of him in the dark.
But it must, like, to be fair, if you're driving that car, like, in the dark, whatever, it must make a difference.
Yeah, no, I get it. If you're the driver of the car and you turn the headlights on, this is bloody brilliant. I can see everything. You know, I can see China from here. But nobody else can. Nobody else can see anything.
Anything.
So yeah, you're the only person that can actually see it.
Yeah. I mean, does anybody else got that problem? Comment in the comment section. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard that though.
Yeah.
About the headlights. My missus has complained about it.
Yeah, even when I'm driving along the dark and there's a car behind me, I have to flick the rear view mirror down because the glare is so bright, it's blinding.
Is the new tech crap, or are we just old?
Is there anything about the new car tech that you like? Do you reckon?
I don't know really. I mean, to be fair, I've not really had the opportunity to get in a really new car.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been sat in anything that's younger than sort of 3 years old.
Me either, really. I mean, I like in-car entertainment and stuff like you can Bluetooth your phone to your stereo and things like that.
Apple CarPlay. What do you reckon that?
Yeah, if you've got an Apple, that's great. But
I'm pretty sure that it does the same thing for Android as well.
Yeah. So that kind of thing is quite cool.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's kind of okay.
But I don't know, other than everything going digital, like the digital display on the dashboard and this, that, and the other. I don't know that there's much technology in modern cars now that's like.
Yeah, I'll tell you what Aidan's car has got, because Aidan's car is relatively new, that little Seat that he's got.
Yeah.
He's got driver assist functions, things like automatic braking. It will detect whether or not something is in front of you and automatically brake without you touching anything. I've tried that in that car and I didn't like it because it seems to detect everything, and it just out of nowhere something on. You'll be driving down the road or through like a 30 mile an hour or 20 mile an hour limit, and it will detect something moving on the side of the road and just stop you dead. I think that's dangerous.
Oh I agree with you on that.
The driver aids, I really don't like new driving aids.
I think things like that are dangerous because if he's got that nice car now and whatever. But if things go sideways and he has to get an older car and he's used to having that kind of tech on his car, like and this could go for anyone like that hasn't had the experience of driving an older car that doesn't have, even do you remember the last time you drove a car that didn't have ABS on it? You hit the brake pedal too hard, they'd lock up. You know what I mean?
Do you know, I can't remember the last time I drove a car with
Mark IV Escort.
Mark IV Escort. My Mark II.
Your Mark II,
yeah, my Mark II.
And how many times did you lock the brakes up on that?
I'm not entirely sure I did.
I don't think you did.
Oh. And that had XR2 pepper pots on it, really wide fat tyres on it.
Yeah.
My Skoda didn't have ABS on it, my Skoda Favourite.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No.
It certainly didn't have it when it
got totally random. Yeah. Did stop eventually though.
Oh yeah. It stopped when we broke it.
Driving aids, especially for like if you're learning to drive and that, I think they're dangerous. And if I'm not being funny, but if you need them kind of driving aids, you shouldn't be driving a car. Quite frankly, you know what I mean? What is the point? You might as well just go for a driverless car, isn't it? At the end of the day, and that I am totally dead against.
Yeah, I'm not keen on driverless cars either myself.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a whole lot of waffle from us two.
We did go on quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Well, we really appreciate all of your support with the channel so far, and
thank you very much.
Please keep up with us, and hopefully we'll be uploading as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, sun's coming out, guns out, bikes out.
We're to that time of year.
Yeah, definitely. There'll be some shows coming up. We've got a few little other projects lined up as well. Yeah. Kevin is Funky Mazda.
Yep, still going. Yeah, still going strong. Years.
Yeah. So yeah. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.